Guys, welcome back to the MDmedic podcast. Today, we're going to talk about why you must become dangerous. Let's get right into it. So as a man, you must become dangerous. I made a little documentary about this very topic. You guys might have seen it. It's about 10 minutes long. I spent a lot of work on it, and it seems to have gotten a lot of traction on YouTube. But I want to expound on this topic because it is very important, especially considering the times that we live in. So what does it mean to be a dangerous man? The word dangerous is an adjective defined by the ability to inflict harm, damage, and destruction. A dangerous man is a man who is capable of being a formidable opponent when necessary and being able to conquer an adversary in physical confrontation. Dangerous men check and limit the power of violent and malicious men. Real evil exists in this world. So as a man of value, you must have real power to resist this evil. I'll say that again. Real evil exists in this world. So as a man of value, you must have real power to resist this evil. On this show, we're all about becoming a high value man. We're all about teaching you guys how to go along the journey to gain value for yourself, to become a man that is respected in society, to earn the money that you want so you can live the life that you want, have the body that you want, and attract the women that you want in your life. We're all about getting men back to their traditional sense of masculinity that human history has embraced for the majority of our civilization until now. But one of the things that we have to talk about is becoming dangerous. You see, we're all trying to build and become high-value men, men of value, men of status, men of power. And as a high-value man, if you've made it to that point, you've obtained status, you've obtained financial stability, and you've obtained social influence. You've obtained the respect of your peers. But in order to both assert and maintain the status, the position that you've gained through your hard work and efforts, you have to have the ability to become dangerous. You have to have the ability to protect all the things that you've worked for from the people that would seek to take and to destroy. You also need to have the ability to defend those who you lead, those who love you, those who have been influenced by you, those who you've assumed a position of leadership and therefore responsibility over, whether this is your family or your business associates or anybody who is in your sphere of influence. As a man of value, as the man that they look up to, you need to be able to be their protector. And in order to protect them, you must become dangerous. As a man of value, you've done just that. You've accrued value. You've gotten things and added resources to your life that other people want and covet. Otherwise, it wouldn't be valuable if other people didn't want it. Look at this. Every country, every nation, every kingdom, every empire, they all have a military. This is why they have a military. Because every single state, every establishment, every government, every country, every known group of people has the things that they value, whether that's their economy, whether that's their resources like natural gas or oil or gold, or the actual people, the citizens that live within the country that actually create the gross domestic product. All of them are things that other countries want to take and to exploit, and therefore every nation since the beginning of time has always had a military so that this country can be dangerous and protect what it has and what it values. Throughout human history, mankind has always valued the warrior. You look at every statue from every culture, the stone relics that are built and chiseled into stone, or carved in the wall of a cave or of a temple, they're all the strong man with the sword. They're all warriors, conquerors, warlords, kings, people that were able to fight against evil. People that were able to go and assert the willpower of themselves or of their nation or of their people group upon an opposing force and find victory. These characteristics have always been valued throughout human history. You look at every legend, every fable, every story, every epic of heroism that has been passed down from generation to generation throughout every single culture, every single society in human history. You know, whether it's the Odyssey that tells a story about Odysseus trying to return from the Trojan War, whether it's the Old Testament of the Bible and the Torah that talks about the great heroic adventures of the warriors of ancient Israel, fighting against the Philistines and the Amorites. Whether it's the story of Muhammad engaging in his holy wars from the Quran. Every single story, every single legend from history all values the dangerous men. The men that were willing and capable of fighting for what they believe. You see, though society has become more tamed, more civilized, more soft, and more weak in a lot of ways, being a dangerous man is still just as important. Regardless of the time period in human history, whether it's the Dark Ages or the Iron Age or the Bronze Age or even today, the ultimate form of conflict resolution is violence. You see, every single dispute that is not mitigated by diplomatic ways, every single argument, every single disagreement, every single feud, though you may try to discuss it, though you may try civilized methods of dispute mitigation, though you may try to bring your issues before councils and committees, every single disagreement, every single conflict, if it is not solved by peaceful measures, the end of it is violence. You see, if you get into a dispute with the guy at the bar, he feels insulted by you. You guys exchange words, and the feeling of disrespect is still mutual. What's going to happen? He's going to ask you to take this outside, and then you're going to have to fight. You see, you're on the way back to your car after a long day of work, and you get approached by someone who wants to rob you. You express your discontent at his attempt at robbing you. You tell him no, you tell him to stop. But he's not wanting to accept words. You have to fight. Therefore, you must become dangerous. Because conflict, disagreement, dispute, these are all central events in the human experience. Every single person who walks this earth is going to enter into a disagreement, many of which are able to be solved by peaceable means. But what happens if you can't solve them? You see, a high-value man is supposed to be a man that's able to handle any situation. He's supposed to be the man that everyone goes to solve problems. He's supposed to always have an answer. He's supposed to be seen as a respectable man that people go to with all of their issues because he has a solution. How can you be a high-value man if you're not able to deal with a simple problem that every human has to experience, and that's conflict? You know, most of the times, as I said, conflict is able to be resolved by peaceful ways, by diplomacy, by talking, by negotiation. But there's always the chance that it won't be. And if you're not ready for that, then you're not a complete man. Another reason why you must become dangerous even in today's world. On the journey to become a high-value man, to become the elite, to become the top 10%, the top 5%, the top 1%, you are going to be put into a situation where you are special, where you are above the rest, where all eyes are on you. And people are going to want to try you. People are going to want to test your legitimacy. You see, by being in the top percentile of society, you're in a position where people want to be where you are. Everyone's trying to get there. It's competitive. It's hyper competitive. It's a cutthroat world. And so people want to see if they can step over you to get where you're at. People want to see if they can bypass you, if they can outwit you, outsmart you, and take what you have. People want to test to see if you are really legitimate, if you really made it because you were that guy, or if you're just a fake. And people are going to test your legitimacy. They're going to test who you are. They're going to try to sabotage you. You must be dangerous so that you can resist, and you can also make people respect you enough to not try you. Because if they do try you, and you are found wanting, you are found lacking, you are found in a position where you are incapable of defending the reputation that you've made, people will think that you're fake. And the more successful you are, the more visible you are, the more eyes are on you. You know, being a high value man is not just about the money. It's not just about the car that you drive. It's not just about the nice luxuries that you can have in your life. It's about also being an influential person across your peers, across the group of people that are around you. And the more influential you are, the more visible you are. And the more eyes are on you, that also means the more eyes of evil people, the more eyes of predators, the more eyes of people who are looking for a victim are on you. You must become dangerous. Because a high value man is never defined as being a victim. A high-value man is supposed to be in a position of dominance in every situation that he faces. Never is he to be a victim. Another reason you must become dangerous today is because you're a woman or you're women. But the significant others, the women in your life, the people that love you, the people that are connected to you in the most intimate ways, and even the families that you produce with those people, they're looking at you as a protector and a provider. Since the beginning of human history, a man has always been expected to protect and to provide. You know, in the Paleolithic era, a man had to protect his family from saber-toothed tigers and from bears and from all kinds of different, threats like that, wild animals. In the Bronze Age, it might be, marauders coming from across the plains on horses with spears and bows and shields, coming to physically take everything that's in your village, to take your women as the concubines, to take you as a slave, take all your animals. You had to be able to protect them. Now, there's just as many threats as there's always been throughout human history. There's muggers, there's robbers, there's rapists, there's burglars, there's predators all around. And though the incidence of violence, the incidence of violent crime may not be as likely as it was thousands of years ago, you still have to be prepared to deal with it when it comes. Because if you can't, you're not a man. Never in any society has a man been respected who could not take care of his family, who could not protect his woman. And never across any society in human history have women ever revered a man who was not a protector. It is one of the key fundamental instincts that is ingrained within a woman. One of the attraction triggers that is ingrained down at the biological level into a woman is to look for a man that can protect her and that can provide for her. Therefore, you must be dangerous. And along the lines of that attraction trigger of needing a man who's a protector, a woman wants to be secure that her man is going to be the dominant in every situation, that her man is capable of defeating other men when it comes to a fight, when it comes to a battle of life and death, when it comes to a battle for her honor. I'm telling you, there's not a whole lot of things more shameful than being in public with your girl. Say you're at a bar, say you're at a club, say you're at a party, and another man tries to grab her butt, or another man disrespects her, and then you step up to fight, and you are completely incapable of defending yourself and defending her honor, and you get knocked out cold.
Fatality.
That right there is embarrassing. No woman's going to want that. You're going to go home, and she's going to be in her mind thinking, wow, I can really find better. I can really find a man that I can be sure is going to protect me. I can find a man who is much more dominant, who's much more capable of being a provider, who's much more capable of being the guy that I need, because him just losing in front of me, that's very unattractive. that woman is not going to want to suck your dick. That woman is not going to want to sleep with you. That woman is not going to respect you. If you are in that situation where you get destroyed by another man in front of your woman, you're taking an L. Therefore, you must become dangerous. There's very few things, actually, in this life that are more important than becoming a dangerous, a capable man. And I want you to know that being dangerous doesn't imply being violent or being malicious. Being dangerous is literally just the capability to actually put actions towards what you say you believe in. Being a dangerous man is the capability to actually get up and stand up for something that you say that you feel strongly for. Being a dangerous man is having the capability to protect those things that you hold dear, that you value, that you love. Being a dangerous man is not being a violent or being a malicious man. As I said before, there's genuine evil in this world. There is genuine darkness, genuine demonic forces in this world. And these forces don't understand negotiation. They don't understand civility. They don't understand discourse. The only language that they speak, unfortunately, is force. And there's times where you have to fight genuine evil with genuine power and genuine force. You see, true murderers and rapists, they won't be stopped by mere words. They must be stopped by force. True tyrants will not be stopped by mere negotiation. They must be stopped by force, by heart, by conquest. You see, the only people that don't want men to be dangerous are people who wish genuine evil. It's always been, since the beginning of history, the dangerous men that have resisted tyranny. Evil men throughout history were stopped by dangerous men. Adolf Hitler, for example, he had this idea of world domination and conquest. This was a man of pure evil. He was murderous. He was genocidal. He had ideologies of absolute just demonic influence. And if it wasn't for men, for strong, dangerous British men and Americans and Frenchmen that were willing to stand together and run on the beaches of Normandy, getting cut up by machine gun fire, Hitler would not have been defeated. Because of dangerous men who are willing to march through the heart of Nazi-held territory, through dangerous and bloody battles and bitter cold. Because of them, we have the freedom that we have today. Another example, King Edward the Longshanks. If you guys have watched the movie Braveheart, the King of England during this time, that was him. He oppressed Scotland. He basically enacted this idea called prima nocta, and it was a law that allowed British nobility in Scotland to consummate the marriages of every Scotsman and woman that got married. So in other words, on the very first night, if you were a Scot, if you were from Scotland, the very first night of you and your wife getting married, a British noble was allowed to be the first person to have sex with your wife. Yeah, absolutely unacceptable. So this was happening. Plus the British were, raising taxes in Scotland, oppressing the people, killing everyone who dared to rebel, stealing farm equipment, stealing animals, just taking whatever they wanted. And the Scotsmen said, we had enough. Then you had a man named William Wallace. He rose up and led the rebellion against King Edward the Longshanks. Fought in battles of Stirling, marched on to Edinburgh, marched on and sacked Hastings in different cities in actual England itself, led this rebellion against the strongest, most feared army in the world, the British Army. William Wallace actually ended up dying for this cause. He ended up being hacked in pieces with his body parts hung over different bridges throughout London. And his successor, Sir Robert the Bruce of Carrick, was the one that ended up coming and defeating the British finally. But these were all dangerous men who were willing and able to stand up to resist tyranny. You look at another famous British tyrant, King George III. This was the man who a bunch of American colonists gathered together in Philadelphia to declare independence from in 1776. Once again, he was the commander of the largest, most powerful and feared army in the world. And he wanted to just levy taxes against the American colonists and have us under his thumb without us doing anything about it. But dangerous men went and resisted the mightiest army in the world and won. You see, dangerous men have always checked tyrants and have always checked evil. And the only people who don't want men to be dangerous are those who are evil. Think about how many mass shootings have been stopped by an armed, dangerous man. A civilian who had a weapon on him, but who also had the heart to use that weapon when it mattered, to stop pure evil. An example would be the Greenwood Mall shooting in Indiana. A guy comes in with a gun, starts killing people. An armed citizen, a dangerous man there, stands up, pulls out his own firearm, puts the guy down. That was a dangerous man. Imagine how many more people would have been killed had that man not been there. Had that man not been dangerous. Had that man not been ready and willing to fight. You also look at the Texas church shooting. You had the situation where a guy came into the church with a shotgun, started shooting people in the middle of a church service. You had armed, dangerous men there in the church. God-fearing men. Men of morals, men of values, but men who were willing to protect the innocent. They pulled out their weapons and they took this guy down. Dangerous men stop evil men. And those who want men to not be dangerous, those who want to emasculate and weaken men, those who want to placate men and take us away from our conqueror instincts, those are evil people. We can take this even further. Those who want us disarmed are those who want us less dangerous. The gun control argument, if you really think about it, the Second Amendment was put into place, not just so that we can have guns to hunt, not just so that we can have guns to protect our households from robbers, but the Second Amendment was put in place as an insurance policy of the American people against a tyrannical government. You see, the colonists had just come out of the Revolutionary War, where King George III restricted gun ownership of all of the colonists in the American colonies. Because he wanted to be able to levy taxes, he wanted to be able to pass laws where he could force you to store and keep his soldiers in your house, feed them no matter the expense. He wanted to be able to do whatever he wanted to you without you resisting. And so that's why King George III banned any kind of weapons from being owned by the colonists. So then you had the Revolutionary War. The colonists create their own country. They create the United States of America. And now, in the Bill of Rights, they made sure that they codified the ability for citizens to own, to keep, to possess, and to bear arms. Not to protect citizens from each other, but to protect citizens from a government that becomes too powerful. To give citizens the ability to resist tyranny if it ever shows its face again. And those that want to come against our ability to own weapons, to legally have firearms in the United States, they're doing it for the same reason. They're tyrants. They want evil. They don't want us dangerous because they know that they can't control us if we are dangerous. They want to be able to expand the power of the federal government beyond what it was ever intended to be. The Matrix is seeking for a world-dominating system where we are all slaves, where we will own nothing and be happy. This is what they say themselves. Do your own homework. This is why owning weapons is essential to American liberty, to the liberty of everyone. Those who are disarmed are those who are weak. And if you even think about it, if the general population is disarmed, that puts regular good people, God-fearing people, law-abiding people in danger. You see, the only people that follow the laws are the people that respect the laws, the people that are good, the people who have morals and values. But if you're a murderer, if you're a killer, if you're a thief, if you're a rapist, you've already decided you don't care about the law. So if I say you can't have a gun, you can't own a weapon, you can't purchase a weapon, you can't buy any weapon, do you think you're going to respect that? You won't. You're going to reply, really, nigga? And you're going to have what you want, regardless of whether we tell you or not. So then, all gun control arguments do, all gun control laws do, is take guns out of the hands of good people and make it where the only people that have guns are bad people. And imagine what would happen if, a bad person goes up into a mall, goes up into a church, goes up into a school, full of innocent people, unarmed people, and decides they want to do damage. Chaos would happen. Tragedy would happen. But imagine also what might happen if a bad person with a gun goes into a mall and everyone there is dangerous. Every good, God-fearing person there is dangerous and armed. How many people do you think that bad person's going to kill? Not very many. Because dangerous men check the intentions of bad men. This is why you must become dangerous. Unfortunately, in our society right now, it is being pushed down our throat to become sissies, to become weak, to become emasculated. All of the culture's doing it. The fact that we even have words like toxic masculinity just come up out of nowhere is proof that the Matrix is trying to make us weak. Toxic masculinity is nothing but the characteristics that men have embraced for the past 6,000 years of human history. The mindset that, hey, men should be a protector, you should be a provider, you should work hard for what you want, you should overcome every obstacle in front of you, and you should be the best person that you can be. For some reason, that's been considered toxic. It's Matrix programming, and the world's buying into it because they want us weak, they want us under their thumb, they want us World Economic Forum slaves. You also see the narrative of the LGBTQRS community that's going out. It's like they're pushing it down our throats. They want us weak. They want us sad. They want us depressed. You see all this stuff about mental health. They just want us a victim of our own emotions and not actually strong. They want us to not be dangerous. You look on TikTok and all you see is things promoting about just pure degeneracy, about simping, about being, LGBT, about being depressed, about being sad, about being some social justice activist. But then the moment you post something that is considered toxically masculine, that basically says, hey, men, be strong, make money, be independent, demand respect from women and from your peers, be the best that you can be, then it's against community guidelines, it's taken down, it's shadow banned, because they don't want us strong. The only people that want us to not be dangerous are people that wish evil. You must become dangerous. And I'm about to teach you how to become dangerous. Every man, and the younger you start, the better. And honestly, one of the reasons why I'm making this podcast is so that if ever I have a son in the future and something happens to me and I'm not able to be a father figure in his life, he can look back at all the things that I've recorded and all the advice that I can give on how he can walk down the journey of becoming a man and the things that he needs to do. So becoming dangerous is one of the things that I want him to do, that I want any one of my sons that I have in the future to do. And this is how you do it. This is how you become dangerous. And the younger you can start, as I said, the better. You need to get to the point of functional proficiency at defending yourself. So you need to sign up for classes, for lessons in a striking martial art of any sort. So that can be boxing, that can be Muay Thai, kickboxing, karate, as long as, a combat karate type style, taekwondo, any kind of effective striking system. Honestly, all martial arts, when practiced in their purest form, they were developed for warfare. They were developed for killing. So I don't really have a preference in terms of which one I want you to do. I was a karate guy, but whichever one you do, find a martial art that will get you proficient in striking, find one that will get you proficient in grappling, so that's jiu-jitsu, judo, aikido, wrestling, sambo, so you can combine it together. You can be able to fight standing up, you can be able to fight on the ground, you can be able to take the fight to the ground, take it to standing, however you want. You also need to learn a martial art that teaches you how to use an edged or blunt weapon. So this is a knife, a sword, a stick. Having a weapon is a force multiplier. If someone's coming at you with the weapon, you need to know how to fight against that, disarm it, and then use it against them. So striking art, a grappling art, a edged or blunt weapon art, and then you also need to learn how to use a firearm. This is brutally important, right? Join a range, find a place where you can go and shoot, find some people that know how to use a gun, learn as much as you can from them, go purchase a weapon. Even if it's just a handgun, you have to be able to defend themselves, because that's what people in the street are using. If someone's going to rob you, if someone's going to try to kill you, if someone's going to try to forcibly, exert harm upon you, they're probably going to be using a gun. So you need to know how to fight back. That's the best weapon in today's society to defend your home, to defend yourself. So yeah, learn how to use a firearm. And quite frankly, once you've learned all these martial arts, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be a master at all of them, but get to functional proficiency. Like, just learn the basics. Because I'm telling you, if you can just learn the basics of throwing a punch, evading getting striked, throwing a kick, grappling, taking the fight to the ground, ground control. If you can just learn the basics of stance and movement and all those things, you're going to be able to smoke 98% of people in a straight fight. And it doesn't matter how big or strong they are, competence and skill always wins against size and strength. So, become competent in a striking art and a grappling art, the use of a, edged or blunt weapon, and the use of a firearm. And then I dare say you should test yourself in competition. Like, sign up for an amateur MMA fight, sign up for a kickboxing fight, sign up for a boxing match. Like, sign up for it, test yourself. That does a few things. That shows that, hey, you've trained enough to at least not be able to get just beat up and dominated. You've trained to a point of proficiency, because if you can compete against a person who's also training, then you know that you can handle yourself against the majority of people in the street. You know that your training has been effective, and it teaches you to overcome fear and stand up against adversity. The things that you learn from fighting are just next to nothing else that I can think of. Some of you guys already know about my story. I'm 26 years old right now. When I was 6 or 7, I started out in martial arts, and it's really the only sport that I've done my entire life. I trained at a Budo gym. So what Budo is, it's the traditional combat arts of the samurai. So karate, standing up. We did full contact karate. Aikido and judo to take the fight to the ground, Japanese jiu-jitsu on the ground. I also learned Iai-jutsu, which is a Japanese sword art, learned how to use a katana. I grew up, I did wrestling when I was in high school, did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu after high school, throughout college, and even now I've trained in Muay Thai and kickboxing, and I've competed in competitive MMA and kickboxing. I am a very, very avid gun owner and gun activist. I live on 60 acres of land, so I'm always out shooting. I'm always practicing my craft. I've got a bunch of friends that are ex-military in the tactical community. I've learned a lot from them. I've developed strategies with them. I've gotten one-on-one lessons on how to use weapons and weapon systems with them, whether it's a rifle, a shotgun, a pistol. I've just really embraced that in my life. And, that mindset of warfare, the warrior spirit, the warrior mindset that is developed through training, through competition, that has built so much character in me that has literally just carried out throughout my entire life. That has taught me that I can persevere through anything. That has taught me how to get through challenges, how to overcome myself as my biggest adversary. And when I overcome myself, everything else, every other challenge becomes easy. And this is one of the many benefits of becoming a dangerous man, is you exude a confidence. Like, you just have this confidence in everything that you do. You know that, hey, I put in the work in the gym. I fought these guys in the gym. I've sparred in the gym. I've got my butt kicked in the gym, but I've gone back over and over again to the point where I can hang with some of these guys who are really good. I know without a doubt I can handle most of the people out on the street. So when you walk into places, you just exude this confidence, knowing that you can handle any situation. You have this fire in your eye that people can feel and people can see. You walk in and man, that's a dangerous man. You walk in and predators who are looking for an easy victim, they look at you and they're like, nah, I don't think I want to do that. Because there's something about you, they may not know you at all, but something about you says that this guy's dangerous. Something about you says, nah, I don't think I want to mess with this guy. People around you feel the confidence. Women, as I said, they look for security. They look for someone who wants to protect them, someone that can protect them, someone that can provide for them, and they're drawn to that. They're drawn to the confidence. They are drawn to your ability to protect them, that you just carry, that you exude without even opening your mouth, without even having to throw a punch in public. You just exude this, in the words of Andrew Tate, this yoga fire that everyone can see. This fire in your eyes that other people can see and feel and recognize, that just comes from being dangerous. And you're less likely to be challenged or made into a target. Another thing that becoming dangerous teaches you is, challenges in life are easy. when you compare it to the challenges of combat. That's one thing that I've learned, man. Like, to be able to step into a cage or a ring or, a kumite mat across from somebody whose sole purpose is destroying you. If I can do that and be successful at that and not fold and not crumble and not break under that level of stress and that level of adversity, then everything else becomes easy. Like, what's work? What's staying up? What's putting forth extra effort on a job? What's studying? What's any of that in comparison? Like, every other challenge becomes easy. When you become a dangerous man, you will get that mindset. And you'll also, as a dangerous man, have the benefit that if you are challenged, if someone does try you, if someone does test your masculinity, if someone does, want to get into a fight with you, does want to challenge you, you won't be bested. Bad people will learn a lesson and not mess with you. And the people that you lead, they will respect you more and they will trust you because you are able to protect them. You are able to ensure their safety, to ensure their well-being, and people are more likely to lead you, to be led by you, to follow you, to go along with your program, and to trust you. Throughout human history, the king who was able to lead his armies from the front, the warrior king, was always much more respected than the king that wanted to live a life of comfort and luxury pent up in his castle. And that's what I want to make you, a warrior king. That your associates, that the people that you lead, that the people in your sphere of influence, that your women, that your children, that your family are willing to follow. That they feel safe and confident following, knowing that you are a leader, knowing that you are a protector, knowing that you are a warrior. And to become those things, you must become dangerous. That's what we're about here, making you the best that you can be, the most ferocious adversary you can be, a conqueror of the modern day world, a guy who can earn the money that you want to earn, live the life you want to have the women you want to have around you, and get the respect that you deserve. That's what we're about here. This is the MDmedic podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please give us a follow on social media, MDmedic Podcast, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. Love you guys so much. MDmedic out.